Use just a few simple techniques to make beautiful nature-themed jewelry. Hi there, Sandy Huntress here, bringing you another tutorial from CreateAlong, this time using products from the Nature's Bounty CreateAlong box. These leaves are so quick and fun and satisfying to make. You'll be amazed at how quickly they go, and I'm also going to show you two different ways to make them. First of all is more of a sculpting manner, and we're going to roll balls of clay and then press in texture. What I love about these is that they have texture on both sides. And this is using the Leaf Vein Deco Disc set, which I absolutely love, just the natural look, especially this one. So for a pair of earrings, I'm going to make a couple of leaves this size, and it starts with a 10mm or 3/8 inch ball of polymer clay. You're going to make sure it's rolled out smooth without any cracks or creases, and then roll it into a teardrop and flatten it. Now, I don't know if you can see on my tile here, I know it's white on white, a little puddle of Armor All for a release. You really need a release with these discs and this technique. So the easiest way to apply just a tiny amount is to put the puddle on your tile and then rub a little on both sides of your teardrop. Because like I said, we're going to texture both sides at the same time. So take a look at this. You can see that the veins point, well, they would point towards the tree. They would point towards the stem of the leaf, away from the point. So I'm going to put that down there. So this will be the front, and I'll have my center vein down the center of the leaf. And pick whichever of the other ones you want to be the back of your leaf. And I'm being rather particular about this, but you can just put them on in a flat, like a sandwich. And press. And press pretty hard, and you can kind of rock that so that you get as close to the edge as you can with that texture. And peel it off, and because you use that release, it comes right off. Do it without the release, you're going to have clay stuck in your texture, and isn't that cool? Then you can shape these. I always like to kind of pull out the tip a little bit, give it a pinch. I usually give the other end a pinch and a little bit of a twist and some shape. And that's just me. You can shape yours however you like. You can use a needle tool now to pierce a hole, or you can wait till after baking and use a drill. Just don't make your hole too close to the edge. And that's all there is to that. If you want to make it bigger, just use a bigger ball of clay. This leaf was done the exact same way, just using a 15mm or about a 5/8 inch ball of clay. Now, I promised you a different way of doing this that gets a different look, and that's these. You can see that these ones all have kind of a soft, rounded edge, and the texture doesn't reach quite all the way to the edge. They just have I don't know, a different look. And that starts out with clay rolled out in a sheet. This is rolled out on my pasta machine to about 1mm thick. It's a number 5 on my atlas. And I'm going to use the Nature's Bounty leaf template. Now, for this disc, either of these two smaller leaves will fit. The larger ones won't, but you could just do the impression again. But I'm going to stick with the smaller ones for my jewelry. Just go ahead and cut out your leaf. Lift that up, remove the excess clay, and once again apply some Armor All to both sides. And in the exact same way, position it on your deco discs. I'll use this one this time. It's more of an overall leaf pattern, and this is what I meant by just putting it on there like a sandwich. And again, squeeze really hard. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Kind of rock it so that you're getting closer to the edges. This is such a fun technique. The leaves just come out so quick, and they're so satisfying. Now that one's stuck a little, but I think I can fix that. That'll be fine. And you just peel it up. Maybe I needed a little bit more release. This one is kind of deep. So yeah, don't be shy with that release. You don't want big gobs of it, but make sure the whole thing is coated. And if it doesn't come out, well, you can always just roll it up in a ball, roll it through the pasta machine again, and try again. So you can see this has just a little bit of a different look than this. That's all. It's just a different edge. The texture goes all the way to the edge. So you decide which one you like better, either using the template or rolling balls and just using the deco discs. Make as many as you want and then bake them at the manufacturer's recommended temperature. After baking, you can finish these pieces any way you like. This one I left the color of the clay and then added some gilder's paste in copper and green and blue. You'll have to follow the directions on that. You could antique these with black, brown, green, white would give a nice shabby chic look. You can add mica powder before baking and leave it at that. For this one, I am going to use Swelligan to get this kind of patina look. What you want to do first is paint a base coat of the metal coating. This comes in several colors: copper, bronze, iron, silver. Let that dry, and then you need a verdigris to get this look. And you only need a tiny bit. It's a good idea to put it in a separate cup. And you can apply as much or as little of this as you want to your piece. I like to have it in just small amounts so that I have some contrast. So I won't paint it on solidly. I'll just kind of brush over. The important thing with this is that you need to add this patina to wet paint. So that's why you want to have 1 or 2 layers of the paint on first, and then add it on, and right before you're going to put your patina on, you add a coating of the paint. And you can see already it's kind of starting to look sludgy. It'll do that. Be careful not to cross-contaminate. Don't get this stuff into your paint or you'll ruin it. It will start to patina it. So you set this piece aside for a while, and given enough time, it will end up looking like these. Now these have possibly gone too far. I want a little bit more copper on these. So what you can do then is, I found the easiest way to do this is use your finger. Dip your finger into some of the paint and then kind of wipe it on a piece of paper, like an index card, and use that. And I'm just going to do like the texture and the edges. And there are sealers for this if you want to seal it for a piece of jewelry. And again, add as much or as little as suits what you have in mind. So there you go. With just a few beads and some jewelry findings, you can then turn your really cool leaves into jewelry very easily. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a jump ring to that hole. If you have a bigger piece and you put your hole further from the edge, you might need a bigger jump ring. For these little leaves, a 6mm jump ring works great. And if you don't like your earrings too long and dangly, you could simply add your earring finding to that. You'd have to turn that loop sideways. But for this, I have an eye pin. I'm going to add just a few beads for decoration. Just a check fire polish bead, a copper spacer. Make a loop on the other end. I love to use the one-step looper. But you can also just use round nose pliers and wire cutters to make a simple loop. If you don't know how to do that, you can go to my YouTube channel. Just look up Sandy Huntress or Keepsake Crafts YouTube channel. And simple loops, I have a video showing how to do that. So then we'll just open these. Add the jump ring. open your ear wire and add the other end of your dangle. And there you go, a leaf with some really great realistic texture using supplies from CreateAlong. I also used some of the other leaves I made to make a matching necklace, pretty much the same way, just attached a chain to the end of the dangles and a necklace chain to that. So I hope this has given you some ideas for using your supplies to make really cool, unique jewelry. Once again, this is Sandy Huntress for CreateAlong. Happy creating!